Welcome back. I guess SourceU and the Jank Nation collab today, something like that.
Welcome back to the game room, ladies and gentlemen.
The game room.
So we are actually finally making good on certain promises now that my health is back to where it's supposed to be.
Congrats on that.
And thank you. And that this guy isn't afraid to travel out as much anymore.
Don't get twisted. Don't get twisted. I'm here, and that's as far as we're going.
So we're finally able to make good on some of this tabletop stuff outside of Fail PG. And just so you know, the reason why Fail PG has been posting, we're in the process of recording the last couple episodes right now. There's an editing process. Those things are 2 hours long. It takes time for me to do that. We haven't forgotten about it. We're just recording still, and editing will happen shortly. But in the meantime, this is part of that promise that we made about tabletop content.
So today we're doing a Yu-Gi-Oh! Boot camp.
Yes, and this will be I'm not sure how ongoing this will be, but this will be the start of us going into actual playing of Yu-Gi-Oh! And stuff. But for now, before we can even get to that point, I have something to admit. I haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh! In so fucking long that I am way rusty. Yes, we could be doing this digitally, but there's nothing better. There feels nothing more comfortable than when you can just take the cards and just
Get that in. But so what we're doing on today, we're basically going over just the basics of the field itself, just so you know what the field looks like and everything, and then where things will be placed on the field. And by the way, there are things out there like Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro, Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, and other, and I'm not going to say Duel Links, I'm not about that life, but other stuff out there you can use to learn the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! The actual game itself.
Yes, but me personally, I prefer a practice partner because it gets you back in the swing of things. But we also figure there are still people out there who are new to Yu-Gi-Oh! People who may not really quite understand those games. So here we are with an explanation for all of you.
Right, so welcome to Yu-Gi-Oh! Boot Camp. To let you know, there will be cards on the stream that you may see that may be and or not banned or not up to the ban list. Just so you know, so shut it.
Yeah, like I said, it's been a while, guys, so a lot of my stuff
But this is just principle to understand the game. But with that being said, let's get into the field itself. So, this is your Yu-Gi-Oh! Field. This is player 1, and this is player 2.
Or vice versa.
Right. So, let's start out with the basics. Yeah. So, you have your main monster zone, which is here. Anything that comes from, whether it's effect monsters or flip effect monsters, or anything that looks with this brown on it, brown and or whether it's white, whether it's the black cards, the purple cards, or the blue card. Well, not the blue cards.
Well, not that blue card.
Not that blue card, but any of the monsters end up here on these zones. And there's 5 zones. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's the main monster zone.
But wait, where are these other zones at the end of the monster zones?
Okay, so over here is your graveyard. You can see here to the right of you. Basically, anytime a monster would die, or anything you use in the game, and this is going to be an ongoing thing I say in the game, unless the card says otherwise, every time a card gets sent or destroyed or whatever, will always go over here. Whether it's any of the cards will go here. Unless the card says otherwise, or other mechanics say otherwise. That's the graveyard. Over here is what we like to call your field card. So there are certain decks in the game where there's things called archetypes or types of monsters in the game. Whether it's like beasts or robots or machines or whatever it is for that type of monster. There's cards to help support those types of cards. Which is this. Usually it'll be a magic card that'll go over here. And there's an emblem. And I don't know if it's easy for you to see over here, but there is an emblem on the card which shows... Sorry.
Looks a bit like a cross.
Yeah, it looks like a cross. This might be a little bit hard to see.
Because yours is a shiny.
Yeah, it's a shiny card. But when we do we'll do later on card breakdowns. When we do the card breakdown video, I'll go into each of the stuff. So remember this for later on. Down here, you have...
your magic zone.
Spell and trap zones. Any type of magic or trap card can go here, except for the field cards. Let me make that clear. Any spell and trap can go here, except for the field card, which, like I said in the video, I'll later explain the field card and show that. Now there are other things that do abide that rule, to stop the rule, which are pendulum monsters. They can go there too.
And certain card types. Well, I guess we'll explain that later.
That's a whole later thing. But basically, your main spell and trap cards can go here. I'll go into these points in a second, what they stand for, but we'll save that for later. And now we have your extra deck zone, which is over here. That's where you get the blue, which are your link monsters, the purple, which are your fusions, the black, which are your exceed monsters, and the white, which are your synchro monsters from over here. These are the monsters you use to bring onto the field, whether you merging them together. Usually it takes multiple cards to make a card.
Yes.
And they either go here or in these zones up here. Now up here, since it brings on to another part, is the extra monster zone. This is a zone that's strictly from monsters from the extra deck. Whether it's link monsters, the exceeds, and all those. So the black, blue, white. So anything that's weirdly colored can go up here basically. The white, the black, the purples, and the blues can go up here. So the links, which are blues, the purple, which are fusions, the black, which are exceeds, and the white, which are synchros, can go up here.
Speaking of the links, is this now a good segue?
To talk about link?
Yes.
No. I want to save that when I break down the extra deck stuff.
Very good.
So I'll break that for later.
Gotcha.
And the other part is your deck. So every time the main part where you draw most of your cards from will go right here, which is where you basically draw a card. Every time you draw a card for your hand or you're searching for something, this is your deck. Your deck will usually have a minimum of 40 cards and can go up to 60 cards. Yes, there is now a limit to how many cards you're allowed to have due to people making decks with 100 cards in. Fun facts.
Why would anybody ever go that far? I made a 50 card deck once and I regretted it. I wouldn't go past 45.
Trolls.
I would not go past 45.
Trolls. That's the exact reason. And then now we have the last part, which is your pendulum zone. This is this. There are these cards, which I probably should have grabbed out my deck box, but unfortunately I did not.
I should have grabbed my deck box.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good. This deck I know has at least one or two in it. So there's these cards that look like this. As you can see on the card, there are half monster. It look like the bottom part looks like it's greenish and the top part looks like it's brown. That means it's part monster, part magic card. Only cards that have these colors, the dual color schemes on it, can go in these two spaces. And this is for a specific mechanic, which is called pendulum summon, which I'll get into later what pendulum summoning is. But basically, they go here, but when you have these cards placed there, they stay on the field, more or less. And when you do this, there's 3 cards left from there. And only these can go in these 2 outer zones. So say, for example, you have another spell here, and then you have one here. You cannot put this here or here or here. It has to go here, which is dignified by these red and blue diamonds here, which are on the card itself, the red and blue diamonds here. I'll go into later what that means.
In another video.
But that's basically the field for you, go. So if you need more questions to explain the field to you, like and subscribe. Check in the links below and things of that nature in regards to that. And thank you for watching. That is just the field of Yu-Gi-Oh! Check our next video of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where we actually go over what each card does. Thank you, and I'll see you
soon.